Things got heated. I just remember Nicole fell and hurt herself. And this guy kind of got into a karate thing. And I said, well, you think you can kick my ass? And I remember I grabbed a knife. I do remember that portion, taking a knife from Charlie. And to be honest, after that, I don't remember.
Secret 2006 O.J. Simpson tapes have now been released. Social media in a frenzy over the football star turned actor turned convicted felon hypothetically describing his wife's murder, saying at times that the former athlete spoke in the first person as if he did it. Let's bring back the power panel. Kurt, he remembers taking the knife from Charlie. Who is Charlie?
I have no idea, and I lived through this. Liz, I was here in Los Angeles studying for the bar exam. I think Jessica was probably about 3 years old when this all happened. This was a hugely traumatic event in Los Angeles. And to see this guy up there smirking and joking around the butchery of two human beings is really a lot to take. I think the O.J. Simpson verdict was one of those big events that kind of began the process of bringing where we are in our society, creating divisions, creating disunity, creating hate, and it makes me angry to watch.
Jessica, O.J. was asked what he would say to Nicole in heaven, and he almost seemed dumbfounded. Let's take a listen.
Do you believe in heaven and hell?
Yes.
Do you believe that you're going to see Nicole someday?
Yes, I do.
You do?
And my mother, my dad, I surely do.
And what will you say to her?
Hey, you know, I haven't thought of that. I would hug her. She, you know, if there's a heaven, there's a hell. They know. I don't have to explain anything. They know. That's what heaven and hell is all about.
All right, so he doesn't know what he would say to his murdered wife, Jessica. When this happened, when the two were murdered, he kept saying, Jessica, we have to find the killers, and then he went out and played golf. Yeah. In this interview, it's so striking if you have the time to watch it. Yeah. Jessica is essentially talking about Charlie in the third person with a knife, and that Ron Goldman took a karate stance. There's different details that are coming out about this, right?
Well, definitely. I think that the main point that you were going to walk away from this is a very clear narcissist and very, very sick man here who is creating new details that obviously did not come out in a very long court case there that he's never discussed before, and what it seems like a gross miscarriage of justice went on here. I did not live through it. I was older than 3, but I was still mini of a person, so I wasn't paying as much attention as Kurt was there. But watching it for a new generation, taking in the O.J. effect, I think is incredibly important.
Yeah. Kurt, this is a case of forensic overkill. What happened to Ron Goldman and Nicole Brown Simpson? You're an attorney. Could you build a new case off of this?
No, I couldn't. There's no criminal case. He's been acquitted by a jury, and of course we don't have double jeopardy. He's also been found liable for the murders in a civil case.
All right, set that aside. Do you think there's enough? If you set that aside, I understand double jeopardy. But watching this interview, do you think there's enough to bring a case? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I think this smirky confession is devastating to him. I think he's laughing at us. I think a jury would look at that and be very hard-pressed to come to the same verdict again. This is just awful, awful stuff. And, you know, he talks about heaven. He needs to get right with God.
Charlie, the alter ego persona appears, right, Jessica?
He does appear, and no one knows who that is. As I said earlier, these are new details that are coming out there. The narcissism again, and when you think about the fact that, you know, he's walking around Las Vegas and young girls are wanting to take pictures with him and treating him as if he's a celebrity and not someone who deserves to be locked away for the rest of his life is very disturbing. So I think everyone, you know, should be watching these kinds of things.
He gave very lengthy answers to hypotheticals, Kurt.
Yeah, he did. I think in a way he was laughing at us because he knows there's nothing anyone can do. It's a matter of judgment for our society. Are we going to tolerate this person? Is it okay what he did? I don't think it's a sick man. I disagree with Jessica. I think this is an evil man.